God knew gods and goddesses, kings and queens. God knew was God and you, the Nazi greeting family, allies, and enemies. What's happening? Slip double, right? So look, man. Hey, man. I decided to come over here. I was tripping. I was smiling because my babies are in there having a lot of fun, right? So I decided to come and do this video, right? I had to do another video. I'm like feeling myself. I'm on a roll. This is about South Africa. So, and this goes back into the mindset of once you had the world your way for so long, and it's like, what? I just can't understand it. So, you know what I found out? The whole thing, when it comes to white supremacy, it's not the fact that they, like, the white supremacists fly around the world dropping bombs on other colored nations. That's not the problem. The problem is not that, like here in the United States, that they was hanging people from trees. That's not the problem. It's not that the police jump out busting on innocent black men and black women and beating black men and women without guns and weapons. That's not the problem. The problem ain't the CIA knows exactly where the drugs coming from. The United States government okay for drugs to get flooded in our community. That's not the problem. The problem is that they just don't want to share. Like, it's like I want it all for myself and I'm not going to share with you. That's the problem. And if you look, check this in. South Africa really shows it. And when it's, you know why? Because you from the outside looking in. And when you from the outside looking in, then you start to see it. So for example, South Africa is basically the opposite of the United States. In South Africa, the Africans are the majority. In the United States, the Africans are the minority. But they have similar histories as being segregation and apartheid. They was pretty much similar. And their correlations is like great compared to all the other nations. So when you watch South Africa and you compare it to the United States in a direction that it's going. So I'm looking at this, and then I also want to show you some of the dangers and some of the great things that the Boers, because they're not Africans, they're Boers, what the Boers are doing, and that we here should see what they doing, and the Africans in the United States should pick up some of the stuff that the Boers are doing in Africa. So it's not like you look at the South Africans and can relate to them, because I can relate to both. I can relate to the the Boers in South Africa by being a minority when the majority, you feel like the majority is against you, so I can relate. And I can also relate to the African by like, homie, you own everything. All right, so let's go with this and let's go hard. All right, so first I want to play this one. This is crazy, homie. This is why when it comes to history, you got to be able to control some of the narrative. So I'm going to play this right here, and I want y'all to read some of these subtitles. The landscape is very similar to what you can see in South Africa. All right, so basically right now, what's going on? Let me hurry up and speed you through this. You know how Russia said, all right, the Boers from South Africa, the farmers, come here and we'll accept y'all. You feel me? Even though they had to pay a little bit of cash to get over there. But anyway, yeah. But look, homie, check this out. Watch this. I'm gonna show you the danger.
На Южной Африке, на я бы сказал, на 35% страна вот так выглядит. И это уже потенциально.
We could potentially live here. So basically, this is a campaign to start getting them to move and migrate. Special report. All right, I gotta zoom in on this. This is what I want y'all to see. Let me see if y'all see that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. That Compton edited. I want y'all to look at that right there. Right there. Look what that say. Adventures of Africans in Russia. Africans in. Hold on. Hold on. I can't read right. Hold on. Special report by Russian name or Boer name of Africans. Adventures of Africans in. Hold on, homie. I don't know. You know what? I went to school in the United States. And you know, at the education level here in the United States, it's low. So you gotta like slow down with me. Plus, I speak English. You know what English does to your breath. You feel me? So look, hey, look, hey, homie. They said Africans in Russia, so I'm like, oh, all right. Let me see. Russia and black folks is in Russia, right? Hold on. Wait, luggage? White people hug her. Where's the Africans? Okay, the Africans about to come. They carrying the luggage. Hold on, he knows some Russian, a little bit of English, but mostly Afrikaans. Okay, hold on. They said Africans in Russia, but now they talking about Afrikaans. When you see that AA, because we the Africans with the K, homie. I mean the Africans with the K, that's us. You feel me? So that right there, what they talking about, they trying to take our swag. And all this right here, look. So that AA, that's when the white folks say that's the language that they speak, right? They mostly use that. And I'm going to show you in some of these other videos that right there. And it was this one particular video I was looking for. I couldn't find it, and I was like, man, forget it. Let me go home while I'm feeling this juice, though.
Чуть-чуть на английском, но в основном на родном африкансе, одном из официальных языков ЮАР.
Right there. His native language. And one of the official languages of South Africa. You mean to tell me that? Now check out what just happened. Homie. There is, look, notice in the beginning of the video, I said that the whites in South Africa is similar to the Africans in the United States. Ebonics is not an official language. When we go into an interview in the United States, we got to change the way we talk to the majority. Here in South Africa, the minority was winning. That's why the white supremacists all over the world loved and looked up to the Afrikaner Boers. They looked up to them. The reason why they looked up to them, because they was a minority and they was controlling such a big group, and they revered that. And so they was like, you know what, that's how we should model ourselves. So, and how did a minority have an official language? Let's continue.
Леон Франсуа Дютуа приветствует российских журналистов в московском аэропорту.
I really didn't go. Hold on, let me see. They fled the area that wasn't yet occupied by black people from Central Africa. Oh, he's telling a story. Let's go back a little bit. Some people blame Boers. White people began settling in South Africa in 1652. Hold on, homie. Check this. I can go to Texas right now. Right now. Bro. What's happening? You want to get on this? I'm right in the middle of this video. Let me hit you right back. Cause I'm just gonna go in real quick. I'm gonna hit you right back. All right. So look. I could go to Texas. Matter of fact, I just said Texas, and my comrade from Houston just called me. Low key, what's happening, homie? Hey, so look. I go to Texas right now, find some empty land. Texas got a gang of empty land. You could go to Nevada and find empty land where nobody at. But if I go there and start building a society, the United States gonna come with some guns and shut me down. I could show you places right here in Georgia where Africans in America, the Wanopian nation, they had bought some land. They bought it, they paid for it. And the United States seized them. So they saying that they came in a place. I mean, who says that I gotta live over there? This is our country. The whole thing, the continent is ours. So you come to say that you could come and claim some part of our continent? You couldn't go in Europe in those times and start claiming shit. But this is what they saying. Forget that. Let's go on. Now, I'm gonna play. You know what? Let me go to the beginning of this, because in the beginning is important.
27 years since the abolition of apartheid
27.
in South Africa, and yet even today there still exist communities of whites who refuse to mix with blacks. It is
27 years. And it's whites that refuse to integrate with blacks. Now, I mean, that's around the world, homie. I have never in history read any situation to where white folks was white people, all whites, all 100%, that they protested to be integrated with blacks, or they protested for just to be equal and just to be friends. That don't happen. So my thing was, what if we start being racist to white folks and just being super racist? Now the question is, would whites start protesting for peace? Start protesting to be friends? Everybody know the answer to that. No, they gonna pull out their motherfucking guns and start killing motherfuckers, man. Hey, you just gotta keep it real. But I gotta keep it 100 too. Let's keep it 100. I never met a racist white person that smoked weed. Maybe weed is the answer for this mindset. And also, when you the nature, the white folks that love nature, I haven't met any that love nature and want to see trees live and want to live in harmony with earth. Just want to have war with you. So it's a certain segment of the white supremacist mentality that is just strong in certain segments, and it's like wildfire.
It's the case in the small city of Orania. There, the only language spoken is Afrikaans, the tongue of the first Dutch settlers. In Orania,
The tongue of the first Dutch settlers. Notice, the first Dutch settlers in the 1600s came to be an official language.
schools, students are taught a revisited version of history, and while many residents settle here to avoid any sort of ethnic diversity, while others appear to have fled the violence and new racial tensions of present-day South Africa.
An air of nostalgia looms over this small town of central South Africa. Here
Now, look at how far spread out they are, right? Now, this is the whites. This is their community. Look how much land they have amongst themselves. I could take you and show you. I had one up, but I ain't even gonna look for it now. You go to these, oh, here go one right here. Let me pull it over here. Here go one. Now, this is how the Africans living in South Africa. So let's compare and contrast. Where was I at? Right here. Look at how much land versus the way the Africans live in a township. Look how compact they are. This is what happened to the majority when the Boers came in with their guns, smashing.
residents are Christian and everyone speaks Afrikaans.
They're Christian.
Today, 1,500 people live in this Afrikaner-only town.
They are in Africa with an Afrikaners only town. There is not a place in the United States where we got an African only town. Not a place. The United States would not even let us dream of having a place that's just only for us. But watch this. This shit gets deep.
It even has its own currency.
Its own currency. The United States killed Gaddafi for trying to have their own currency. The United States didn't even let another country that's on another continent have their own currency. And you think that they're going to let us do it? So now you starting to understand white supremacy and the realities of white supremacy. It's real. And they got people that don't even want to show their face and talk about it. People don't want to talk about it. It's real. So let's not act like it's not real, because it is real.
And its own flag. Founded
And its own flag. We got our own flag, but we don't have our own currency.
after
Our own town.
the collapse of apartheid 27 years ago, figureheads
That's why how
of the
they did that,
racist
though.
regime are parts of Orania's scenery.
Orania, Afrikaner settlement where we can create our
Alright.
future.
Hold on.
Self-sufficient, and Afrikaner settlement where we can create our own future, be self-sufficient. And now in the New South Africa, that, we have a black majority that's also not always very kind to the.
He said have our own settlement and we could create our own future. We don't have that and was never ever given that in the United States. We was never put in a position to create our own future. Right now, I still bag for jobs. I got a pretty decent job. I get paid, a few dollars over what a slave used to get paid. But still, when it compared to those that's at the top, that I'm still a slave. I'm getting a pittance. They got people here that's really balling. And the real keeper 100. The whole abolishment of slavery thing, only thing they did was we never got freed. So let's keep it 100. No, we never got freed. Only thing they did was take the poor whites and dump them in a bucket with us. That's all they did. Now, poor whites is in a bucket with us. You know what they do? Give them a few dollars more just to keep them quiet. When the poor whites, and notice, any time in United States history, when Africans and the poor whites, start to come together in the United States history and start to build, they destroyed that shit quick. And even in slavery, when the whites start to befriend the black, that whole nigger lover thing, when they had that in law. That was one of the folklores and mores. I'm thinking like one of the unspoken laws. I believe that's the term. That was one of those things that was set in place because they couldn't have you two getting along.
Afrikaners especially. So the idea was to have a place.
Let me fast
was
forward.
published. The intimidation stopped. My father gave me the advice and
Could slowly disappear.
Check this.
Je moet mij nou een stukje wijzen wat je bezig is om te doen. En als ik jou kan helpen met iets, wijs mij wat er...
In this school, the students have two different syllabuses.
Two!
The state's official program and Irania's version.
Two! So,
It is geography.
pretty much, now, when I say that we could take some information from them and do what they do, that's basically what we need to do. See, the United States have a certain education that we have to teach our children. And we know that that education is destructive to our children. For example, you can have a black or white teacher teaching, let's just split it down the middle. Half black, half white class. And when they say our forefathers built America, in that instance, soon as you say that, when you're talking to the black children, you're saying that, yes, y'all built it because y'all were slaves. When you talk to the white children, you say, yes, y'all built it because y'all were slave owners. Just with that one phrase. And then when you go on to speak about Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, now you basically just took all the African children, set them to the side, and say that you're not a part of the rest of the curriculum. And yes, our forefathers. Whether the teacher is black or white, it's the information itself. And the Afrikaners are the Boers, more likely, the Boers. They recognize that and they see that. Notice what they have with the picture. They said, hold on, even though they're in the majority rule, because all of our heroes and we have a lot of white pictures in our books. Well, you know what I mean? It is what it is. We took that as the norm. But watch this.
And history in one book from the viewpoint of the new regime, which is also subjective. This is more from our viewpoint, so they can compare the two.
And I was looking at that though. How they got the 1K now. They don't got the 2 A's, and they also had the African with the K and the 1A. Now they ain't putting the 2 A's in it no more. They putting the 1A. They trying to be like us, homie. We got to smash them for that. They can't have that. That's ours. So they basically saying it's telling them from their viewpoint, right? Let's keep going.
And they can make their own opinion.
The town's syllabus makes no mention of Nelson Mandela,
No mention of Nelson Mandela.
who they say isn't part of their history.
So basically what they're saying, they're in South Africa. They said Nelson Mandela don't have any part of their history. So when they say that Nelson Mandela don't have a part of a history, they just took up the reason why he was in prison, that he was in prison, and that he came out of prison and did something great to try to connect the people, a rainbow nation. But then they say this so-called rainbow nation, but then you still have white towns that's Afrikaners only. So when you're the one that don't want to amalgamate and don't want to be a part of the people, how can you say, well, it didn't work? Because you're the one that don't want to be a part of it. So let's go on. Now watch this though. Watch this. Let's go on with this video.
Of course, it wasn't just government workers. The entire labor market changed. Years later, blacks and whites are now competing for jobs on equal terms. And whites don't always come out on top.
Black and whites are it says are looking for jobs. I was looking to see if that was the video. I was gonna play it all the way through. On equal terms, and whites don't always come out on top. So look what happened. So the Africans took back over their land. Now the whites and the blacks compete on equal terms. So if the Africans here in the United States take over the United States government, it's pretty much gonna be the same thing. Cause right now, when I was at a job, and basically most of the people that was above me and a higher ranking for me to be able to lift me to a position and help me was black. And then the next rung was white, and then they had blacks and mainly blacks on the maintenance crew, right? I do maintenance, industrial refrigeration. But it was a white guy that sent me to the school, and it was a black guy that was just telling me, oh, well, just ask one of the guys on the crew. You feel me? So here, it ain't like, man, it's the white people holding us back. No, hell, you find black folks in position that ain't gonna fucking help you. You feel me? You have whites in position that helps you. So You know what I mean? I come from Compton, where a lot of us were shooting at each other. It wasn't no white boys coming through shooting, even though the system that kept all of us subjected was white. The system was white, but the fighting was black. And so I got a problem with both systems.
Dirk van der Dradu is a mechanic.
I haven't been able to find a job for 6 months.
So basically what they saying is that now you got whites living in the same kind of camps that the Africans do. But let me take you here and let's play this in its entirety. Well, I mean in its entirety. Then I'm going to talk about this and then we're going to let it go.
This is Coronation Park, a squatter camp in Krugersdorp, South Africa. Although impoverished blacks in the region far outnumber their white counterparts, this camp is one of a growing number of townships populated mostly by Afrikaners, white South Africans. In the 19 years since the fall of...
Notice that when they was talking about the black, all they said was blacks. But Afrikaners, white South Africans. Because they see when they started to gotta do all that explaining, that lets you know it's not original. You feel me? When you don't have to say British, the white people that have blonde hair and blue eyes, you don't have to say that. You just say British, because you know what the British are. You know, because ain't no black British. Ain't no such thing as a black British. It don't happen. It's not true. You feel me? Like a black German, a Jewish German. Man, come on. That's like saying that you have a woman man. That's all that trans stuff. Y'all get y'all minds mixed up. I don't know, and I don't know exactly who. I think came from the Greeks.
Apartheid, more and more whites are coming face to face with poverty and social meltdown. I'm sorry.
Hold on.
Poverty and social meltdown. They're coming face to face with
that. Look, now this is what whites do to us here. Poverty. Look at your car. You're not in poverty. You know what I mean? But see. In this instance, it's okay and we recognize the poverty. And there's other videos that I'm going to go to and I'm going to pull out and dissect so y'all can see exactly when it's them, whites, understand whites in the situation that Africans are in.
Poverty and social meltdown.
I'm sorry, it's racist. I'm not a racist, but the blacks comes first and then the whites. And even highly qualified whites don't even get a position in South Africa.
A controversial affirmative action policy sees blacks take precedence over whites on the job market, giving some people little choice but to move into tents and caravans in camps such as this one.
I'm going to stop it right there. So they said blacks take precedence because they got affirmative action for blacks take precedence over whites. So and do you know that pendulum, that little ball, when you take the ball and you drop it and it does this? So what happened with apartheid is that they pulled that ball, they pulled it up, and they pulled it to where they couldn't get it no more, and then the ball slipped. And when it slipped, boom, then it was like reverse racism. You feel me? So what it is, it's just a pendulum coming back for the swing. So it's for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Now, they say, hold on, but you guys are the majority. But at the same time, I want you to listen to what just happened, what they just said. The blacks get preferential treatment.